Hi everyone, welcome back to Nature's Holly. How are you? Got your drinks? Plastic cup. I made it myself and I'm super tired, super tired. But that's okay, we're gonna push forward. Um, I just want to talk to you guys about, I'm sure there's other people experiencing this and it's pretty tough. It's pretty tough. I mean, what I'm talking about is basically mourning the loss of somebody who's still alive. When you split from people who you really care about that are off, living their own life and stuff, and they're not in your life anymore. You have zero contact, no Facebook contact, no nothing. You can't see their face. You can't text them, you can't call them. They're gone. They're gone completely. Every trace of them is gone. They're gone. And the thing is, the difference is, well, like they're still alive, so we can take happiness and whatnot out of knowing that they're safe and that they're living. And, you know, well, we're not going to talk about spirit right now because that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about living people for once. For once, I usually talk about spirit, but I'm going to talk about living people. So back in 2011 was the very first time that I experienced that type of situation. So I had a good friend named Anthony, and he was my best friend for like 8 years, 9 years. It was a long time. And I mean, we were inseparable. We traveled the world together. He lived in Toronto, and I'm from Newfoundland. And he was here just temporarily going to university, and that's how we met. And I think I ran a tanning salon at the time, and he had come in, and we were best friends ever since the moment we met. And it's funny because like how we started talking and stuff like that. He was like, I said to him, I said, "You smell some good," because he stunk like weed, and I like smoked a lot of it at the time or whatnot. I was like, "Oh, that smells lovely," and he was like, "Yeah, it's this or whatever," and you know what? So, anyways, we're best friends ever since that, right? Thank you, weed. But anyways, so he would like, I didn't have a lot of money. I came from like a poor family. You know, we won't go into that in this video. We won't go into that in this video. But Anthony pulled me out. He pulled me out. He had lots of money. He came from a really well off family in Toronto, and he pulled me out. And when I say that, I mean he provided for me. He acted as like a parent figure for me. He like taught me things. He like traveled, took me traveling everywhere. He flew me up to Toronto like every other month. Either that or he was down here in Newfoundland, and he had tons of money, so he'd always like rent a hotel room because obviously he like I was younger at the time, and I might have been in and out of my mother's house at the time. And if I was at mom's living at the time, like there's no way she'd have anybody. Like I wasn't, when I lived at home, I wasn't even allowed to have friends over. There was only one friend, Samantha, I was allowed to have over, and that was it. That was it. There was never any parties for Holly Bear or anything like that, even though my brother threw parties. My younger sister threw tons of parties, tons, tons, tons. Now keep in mind, my younger sister and me are like 20 years apart in age. We're like, it's like 17 years. It's a huge gap. Same mom, different father. Another story, another video for another day, another story. Yes, I love her to death. No, we're not close. I never see her ever. I was in her life a lot when she was younger and helped raise her and stuff like that. That's another story. So mourning the loss of somebody who's still alive but no longer in your life, it's tough, right? So we spent 8 years together, and we rode roller coasters, we went bungee jumping, we did it all. We did it all. We had so much fun, and even if like I had and still have really bad anxiety, so like he would even take me to work with him because there was a few years I actually moved to Toronto and left Newfoundland and lived in Toronto, and my dear, did he take care of me? Oh my God, he used to even take me to work with him. He drove like a beautiful Cadillac. Like he's same age. He was same age as me, so I'm 33. So he's the exact same age. And at that time, we were in our younger 20s. But again, come from a really like well-off family. But they taught him so well, like because he went to university and he got his own job that paid a lot of money, and like he just was taught really well, and just, even though his parents would give him anything, he always provided for himself as well, which amazed me. It taught me so much. And there was one thing he used to say to me that I would never forget, because he knew what mom was like and knew how I was raised and things I went through. And he always told me, Holly, you're the rose that grew out of the pot of dirt. And for that, I'll never forget. Eternally grateful, eternally grateful for him and for what he taught me. And we could go on and on about it. And I got tons of stories from with him, like that Bonnaroo Festival story that was with him. So how it ended, 2011, I got a call from him, and I was just after flying home from with him in Toronto in January, because we always spent the holidays together and everything, right? So after New Year's and all that, and I flew home, and we had a bit of a fight when I was there in that January for some reason. I mean, I was wild in my 20s, wild. I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't realize what my mental health issues were. I didn't know what was going on in my brain, let alone be able to comprehend an actual adult relationship. I didn't know my head from my ass, okay? Like I just didn't, and I wasn't the nicest person in my 20s. I just wasn't. And I didn't treat him as good as he treated me. And it was like about February, March 2011, I get a phone call, and he says, Holly, I met someone, and it's like this. It's either you can be with me and I'll take you in a heartbeat. I want to be with you. I love you, but I cannot do what we're doing anymore. Just be friends and have that relationship style with you without the you know what I mean. And I can't keep going like this. And I met this girl, and I think she's a year older or something like that. It's like I met her and I do really like her, but thing is, like, I'm if I go with her, I have to cut you out completely. She is not okay with how close we are. She is not okay with our relationship. She is not okay with you. She's just so, like, basically, Holly, you got to go. If you don't, you can either be with me or be without me. And I was given an ultimatum. You don't give me an ultimatum in my 20s when I'm off my friggin' head and expect me to choose probably what would have been for my higher good. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. I told him to fly to F. I said, you know what? If you're going to give me this ultimatum and end our like almost 10-year friendship for somebody you just met, and tell me that you'll be with me or you'll be with her, but if you be with her, you'll have to get rid of me and every trace of me. I was like, that's sick. Like, I never thought in a million years he would ever do that to me. I never thought. 5 years I freaking cried for him, and there's still times that I still break down and cry and think back of times we had and things like that. You know what I'm saying. I let him go, right? I let him go. I told him that I couldn't be what he wanted me to be, and that I'm sorry. And I told him that whatever makes him happy, go and do that. And it took me 2 months to be able to say those words to him, because I was so angry. I was so angry. And I knew that I had to say something positive. And that was kind of when I really spiritually woke up to my own actions and how detrimental they were to myself and to my life and the people around me. And I realized how important it was to live every day to the fullest, to appreciate the people around you. I was really fucked up from how I was raised, so it took a long time. It almost like took that process to jolt me into being able to love myself, love others unconditionally, even if that meant let them go. Like, oh God. Even talking about it now, it is so painful, because I still love him and I still wish him the best. And they got married, hey? They got married a couple of years ago. They put their video online public, because obviously he was forced to block me on Facebook. And as out of respect, I stayed away. I didn't bother him. I didn't text or call or anything. There was just a few months where it was rough and I was still in contact with him. And then I had to let him go. He said, okay, sweetheart, this is it. You gotta go now. Like, this is it. He was super nice to me about it, like super nice, because he knew like how close we were, and I don't think he wanted to let go either. But he had to make a decision for his own self, and I needed to make a decision, and that's what ended up happening. And I had to mourn the loss of somebody who was still alive and well, and somebody who I almost couldn't live without. I almost couldn't live without. I mean, it was the type of relationship, even when he was in Toronto, I'd call him up and tell him jokes all the time. And we'd be on the phone like 25 times in the run of a day. Not on Facebook, not on texting, calling each other. Even while I'm on the toilet, I'd be on the phone with Anthony, just like Jeffrey, you know? And, but Jeffrey passed away. That's a different story for a different day. And also with my mother, okay? So my mother. So me and mom, we don't talk, we don't have a relationship. And, it's been that way for a long time. And basically, I am mourning the loss of her. And that was tough for about 5 months straight. It really rattled me the first time it happened. And then, she came back into my life. As of right now, this is a different story for a different day as well. I'll just make this short. So as of right now, I'm mourning the loss of her as well. But she's still alive. But we're not in each other's lives and haven't been for quite some time. Even though I'm going through a lot and I need my mom, I don't have her. She's emotionally unavailable, physically unavailable. She's unavailable. And my dad has passed, if you're wondering. He's passed away. So I got dad in spirit. I got Jeffrey in spirit, and they're here with me right now. I'm like, it's okay, Holly, it's okay. We love you, we're here. But mourning the loss of somebody who's still alive, it's a real thing, it exists. You're not alone if you're going through that. I understand. Give yourself patience, give yourself time. I do believe everything happens for a reason. For me, it jolted me into spirituality. It helped me understand who I am, why I do the things I do. It helped me to rewire my brain. It taught me a lot, and it was almost necessary for my healing process. And I am eternally grateful for the time that he and I did share together. I'm eternally grateful for what I had learned, for what I'm still learning. I am eternally grateful. And that's my story for today. If you have any questions, please leave them below. Subscribe if you want to, and just know that I love you, I care, and I'm here. And I went through an awful lot in my 33 years on this earth, and still am. And you're not alone, okay? Take care and have a beautiful day. And give yourself time to heal, okay? It's been since 2011. It's now 2019, and I'm still healing. I'm still healing. From that, I'm still healing in general, but from the experience with Anthony, I'm still healing. Things just don't go away. Time isn't linear. We just perceive it that way, and I didn't come up with that. Give yourself time, one day at a time. I always tell myself. Sometimes I go hour to hour. And love yourself. Love yourself. I just joined on a beautiful young woman's account, and her name is New Image, N-U Image, and she talks about reparenting yourself and things like that, and I really highly suggest that you go check her out. Amazing. She's amazing. Love and light to everybody. Talk soon.